We all remember exactly where we were when historical events happened in our lives. Well, today could be another one of those historic days as the Lions of Ascension Christian and the Catholic High POINTE COUPEE Hornets look to continue their quest for their very first baseball state title. Who will advance? We'll find out together live on the REV Game of the Week.
It all began in 1935, a new era in telecommunications, right here in Southeast Louisiana, born from the ambitions of several local families, with a clear vision and outlook focused on the future, connecting people across 10 parishes, one household at a time, powering an internet superhighway from the bayou to the river, built to deliver the speed and reliability every customer needs. We are REV, 90 years of building connections.
Chris's Specialty Foods has you covered for tailgating this season. We do all the prep work so you can spend time enjoying your family and friends. Steaks, burgers, sausage, chicken, wild game, and many other great pork options. Our central location is now open on Wax Road behind the Walmart. And the new Highland location serves hot lunches and has a meeting space for your work team. New Orleans and Millerville are rocking as well. It's fast, affordable, and delicious. It's Chris's Specialty Foods.
Everybody loves Chris's.
Technology, a modern blessing, but a curse when issues arise. Your business systems should enhance your operations, not complicate them. REV Business is your human touch in the digital world, with personal support and meaningful solutions to your real-world challenges. We are a local team who will do whatever it takes to keep you up and running. For internet, hosted phone, and security, experience the difference of working with REV Business. 90 years of connecting Louisiana.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a perfect day for playoff baseball. My name's Jimmy Frederick, along with me, my broadcast partner, Jeff Porish. And, Jeff, we've got a great game today here in the regional round of the state playoffs of Division I Select. We've got the Ascension Christian Lions taking on the Catholic High POINTE COUPEE Hornets. It's going to be a good one.
Right. The winner of this game is one win away from making the semifinals over in Sulphur. But right now, before we talk about more, we're going to see the first pitch, which is going to be thrown by the wife of former administrator here at Ascension Christian, Dustin Bagwell.
That's right. He passed away in September. Natalie Bagwell, his wife, just throws out the first pitch, and they certainly want to honor her and Mr. Bagwell's long legacy here.
Right, and you see the team giving flowers, and it was a big deal. They lost him at the very beginning of this school year in September, and it was a big loss. But this school and this athletic program has continued to thrive. And when we can continue talking about what we saw earlier, as you see the team photo taking the picture right there, Ascension Christian is 24-9, and they are the 4 seed in Division IV Select. They were the 8-1A district runner-up, and they got a bye, so this is their first game in the postseason. Now, Catholic High of POINTE COUPEE, they're 13-18. They come out of District 5-1A. They were 3-3 overall, and they had a big win in the bi-district round. They beat St. John 12-4. Now, these two teams have already met one time, and Ascension Christian ruled them by a final score of 12-0. But that was March, and we're almost in May. So this is almost a 2-month difference in time, and teams can change so much. So I would not call this a gimme. It's going to be a good game here this afternoon between these two teams.
Now the coaches are going to meet at the plate, and we'll have our coach's notebook for Catholic High POINTE COUPEE, Ross Capone in his second year.
Right, and he is over on the right side in the green. You see him right there. That's Ross Capone in his second year at Catholic High POINTE COUPEE, and he got the team to the regional round last year, which is where they are at right now. So even if they don't win here today, they've had a successful couple of years with him. And then when you turn to the other side, Jimmy, you got Jared Kleinpeter, who is on the other side in the blue, representing Ascension Christian.
Absolutely, in his 6th year. In fact, he started off his coaching career at Catholic High POINTE COUPEE. So a lot a lot of familiarity with both these two teams, and we certainly appreciate both these schools that are helping us get ready for this one, and obviously the hospitality here at Ascension Christian. Let's take a look now at our our Division 4 select playoff pods. We'll start off with that right there.
Right, in Division 4, the winner of this game between Catholic Pointe Coupee and Ascension Christian will be taking on the winner of Ouachita Christian at Glenbrook. Now, if Ascension Christian wins this game, that would be a home game for them. Catholic Pointe Coupee would have to travel. And on the other side, the team that they would be facing in Sulphur would be either St. Martin's versus Covenant Christian or St. Mary's at St. Frederick's. One of those four teams in that pod will get to Sulphur. And then you look at the bottom side, Jimmy, you got Sacred Heart, Opelousas Catholic, Riverside Academy, Ascension Catholic, and that's the one side of the pod, or the second side of the pod. And then you got Central Private, Ascension Episcopal, St. Edmund, and Vermilion Catholic. So it's not inconceivable you could have two teams from Ascension Parish, Ascension Catholic and Ascension Christian, perhaps meetings down the road somewhere in Sulphur.
My goodness, wouldn't that be incredible? Let's take a look at our keys to victory. We start off with the visiting team. For Catholic High Pointe Coupee, they have to throw strikes. This is a powerful hitting squad for the Ascension Christian Lions, and they really can put battle on the ball, and they've also got to battle at the plate. One of the good things about the pitcher for Ascension Christian is that he throws strikes. He's got a good defense behind him. For the Lions, they've got to limit free bases and believe they can play with confidence. And that is something they have done fairly easily throughout this season. And looking at the scores for Ascension Christian, they have scored double digits in about half of their games, which is saying a lot in baseball.
Right, and they got double digits against Catholic Pointe Coupee, like we talked about in March, winning 12-0. And we'll pause right here, and we'll go to the public address announcer as we're going to get to the starting lineups.
Visitor team, the Hornets. Batting first, number 12, Jude Morrison. Batting second, number 7, Parker Jewell. Batting third, number 16, Micah Nipple. Batting fourth, number 5, Luke. Batting fifth, number 11, Faustin Guidry. Batting sixth, number 13, Cooper Walker. Batting seventh, number 2, Brooks Capps. Batting eighth, number 10, Carter. Batting ninth, number 1, Andrew Seven. And batting 10th, number 6, Carter Hotar. And here's the rest of your Catholic Pointe Coupee Hornets. Now your starting lineup for Ascension Christian Lions. Batting first, number 1, center field, Carson Solstead. Batting second, number 4, pitching, Wyatt Burett. Batting third, number 3, playing first base, Mason LeBlanc. Batting fourth, number 2, playing second base, Wyatt Stafford. Batting fifth, playing shortstop, number 8, David Flynn. Batting sixth, number 5, playing catcher, Keegan Bourgeois. Batting sixth, number 19, playing left field, Jacob Brignac. Batting eighth, number 6, designated hitter, David Guidry. Batting ninth, playing right field, number 21, Caden Dowden. And our third baseman, number 18, Luke Brignac. The rest of our Ascension Christian Lions. Right, everyone, please bow your heads for our prayer. Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to play the game we love. Keep us safe today. Protect us from injury. Help us play with integrity and give us the strength to do our best. We may show respect to our teammates, our coaches, our opponents, and the officials. Win or lose, help us to play with heart, with joy, and with good sportsmanship. Let the game bring us closer together and remind us of the blessings of teamwork and competition. In your name, amen. All right, place your right hand over your heart, please.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were still gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A beautiful rendition there by Cora DeLotte, and we appreciate her singing it. Not an easy task, a cappella like that. And we are
Definitely not.
rocking and rolling, and it is time for our batting order for the Catholic High Point Coupee.
And so the batting order for Pointe Coupee will be leading off number 12, Jude Morrison, who plays shortstop. Parker Jewell bats second, number 7 behind the plate. Micah Nipple, number 16, plays third base. Batting cleanup, Luke Vosberg, number 5, pitcher for today. Faustin Guidry will bat fifth, number 11, second baseman. Batting sixth, number 13, Cooper Walker at first base. Batting seventh, number 2, Brooks Capps in center field. Batting eighth is number 10, designated hitter Carter DeVilliers. And then batting ninth is number 1 in left field, Andrew Savan. And they will face a really good right-hander in Wyatt Burett for Ascension Christian. Burat, excuse me.
They certainly will. In fact, he has a think about this, a .41 ERA in 50 innings pitched. He has an 8-7 record, only allowed 8 runs, 3 of those earned. He has a 73-5 strikeout to walk ratio, and they are his opponents are batting only 176 against him. So a really good thrower. He's got 4 really good pitches. His velo will be up to about 84, and he can throw strikes with a curveball, a changeup, and a slider.
And it's really important that he does well, because one of the things we haven't talked about yet, Jimmy, unlike Division I, and you see a lot of Division I games on Rev Sports, it's a best of 3. But when you get to Division IV and you get to the smaller schools and you don't have a lot of players, a lot of kids, and a lot of big rosters, this is a winner-take-all. This is not a best of 3, so he has to be on to win in order for Ascension Christian to get to the quarterfinals.
And I talked to both coaches about that, and they both very much would like to have that best of 3 series, but not the case here in Division IV, as you mentioned. We start off with Jude Morrison. He bats 353, and the first pitch is a strike.
Right, and he is the leading hitter at 358, and he also leads with 2 home runs and 20 RBIs.
Breaking ball gets him to chase it. 0-2 the count to the first batter, and we're so glad you've joined us for this Rev Game of the Week. It is the regional round of the Division IV Select. Popped up. And the third baseman, Luke Brignac, sophomore, makes the grab in deep foul territory. Had to go through the gate to make the catch. And we have one away. Let's take a look at around the horn.
And in the outfield for Ascension Christian, in left field, Jacob Brignac, Carson Sofstead in center, Cade Dowden in right. Infield, Mason LeBlanc at first, Wyatt Stafford at second, Luke Brignac at third, David Flynn at short, Wyatt Burat on the mound, and Keegan Bourgeois behind the plate as Parker Jewell comes to the plate.
Jewell batting .348.
He leads in several categories for this Hornets team.
This one a stinger right back up the middle. First base hit of the ball game as Parker gets on base with a line drive right back up the gut.
And that was a clean base hit and no reaction time for Burat, as that was a solid base hit up the middle. So a good start for Catholic Pointe Coupee with one out and runner on first.
It brings up Micah Nipple. He's the third baseman batting .261. Very good defensive third baseman. He's only a sophomore, started as a freshman. He's also played some shortstop and pitched a little bit.
And he leads the team in runs scored, and he's the co-leader in triples for this team. So tough situation right here for Burat and the Lions.
Way out in front of that one, off speed, and it 0-1 the count. A little low that time, but he was looking at it.
Yeah, catcher set up outside, and they were going to try to get him to chase something maybe out of the strike zone into the left-handed batter's box, but good discipline right there by Nipple.
This one will be driven into right field on the rope. Advances the runners. And we've got a 2-hit inning going on here to start this thing off.
And another clean hit, and nothing the second baseman Stafford could do about that as you look on the replay. Just a line drive, would have been over his head anyway. Dowden is quick to get it back into the infield and hold Jewell at second. But now you got your cleanup hitter on with one out and a runner in scoring position, Jimmy.
Luke Vosberg is going to be on the mound today. He's batting .222. The one thing that Burat does is throw strikes, and he relies on that defense behind him, and they're very good. But when you're just hitting line drives like that, it's difficult to get them out. So far, they've hit really good shots to where people aren't, and that's a lot of the game of baseball right there.
Exactly.
This pitch finds the mark.
And not only are they hitting where they're not, but they're clean singles. These were not little bleeders that made it barely through the hole. They're solid shots right through the infield.
Burat will check the runner at second and now comes to the plate. Good framing by Bourgeois behind the plate, but a little bit off the mark.
Yeah, it looks a little bit outside. You can see us in that we're underneath that orange tint behind the pitcher, Burat. So we have a good vantage point.
Slow roller could be an opportunity for a double play, but an error on the shortstop. It's going to hold the runner at third base, and the bases are loaded. Boy, it was a slow roller chopper, and he just didn't quite glove it. I think he was thinking about the double play before he got the ball in the glove.
You were reading my mind there, Jimmy. Flynn had a chance to step on the bag and throw to first and get out of the inning, and I think that's exactly what he had in mind. He was probably trying to gauge whether or not he could get the double play, and he took his eyes off the ball for a split second, and now bases loaded, one out for the Hornets. This is going to be a tough situation for Burat to get out of without giving up any runs.
Faustin Guidry, the second baseman, will step up to the plate. He's a .275 hitter on the season, and we do have one away as that pop foul out of play that Brignac was able to catch. There's 3 Brignacs on this team for the Lions, and they're all brothers. 8th grade, sophomore, and senior. This was a fastball and got him to swing. Strike one.
And that was a good fastball right there. Guidry had a good swing, but he was way off. He leads the team with 20 runs scored and 2 triples, just like Nipple does.
Finds the outside corner, 0-2.
This is a good comeback by Burat, basically coming right at the number 5 hitter.
Breaking ball misses the mark.
You had a pitch to waste there, see if he could chase something out the strike zone. Did not do that. Count still 1-2.
Swung on and missed. Struck him out. First KO of the afternoon.
And good job of pulling the string there by Burat. Had a couple of fastballs that kind of set the tone, and then after a ball up high, little change up right there by Burat, and not a chance for Guidry for the second out.
2 away now, and it brings up Cooper Walker, the first baseman, batting .217 on the season. Rocket and fire, fastball, called strike. First lefty we've seen today so far.
Absolutely.
Whoo, a mighty cut. Can't catch up to it.
Looks like those base runners early on kind of woke up Burat, because he's come dealing big time with some fastballs early in the count and gets to a second straight 0-2 count.
A little high, but definitely.
If he can, Jimmy, if he can get out of here with no runs scored after loading the bases with 1 out, that's going to be huge for the Lions.
Swung on, got him, strike 3, KO number 2. And that ends the top of the first inning. Bases were loaded, 3 runners left on 2 hits and 1 error, no run score. And let's take a look at the batting order now for the home team Lions.
And for the Ascension Christian Lions, leading off, number 1, Carson Solstead in center field. Batting second, number 4, Wyatt Burat. We just saw him on the mound with the back-to-back strikeouts. Batting third, number 3, Mason LeBlanc. He is the first baseman. Cleanup, number 2, Wyatt Stafford at second base. Batting fifth, number 8, David Flynn. He is the shortstop. Batting sixth, number 5, Keegan Bourgeois behind the plate. Batting seventh is number 17, Jacob Brignac at left field. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 6, Baylor Guidry. And then batting ninth, number 21, right fielder, Cade Dowden. And they are going to face a pretty good right-handed pitcher, Luke Vosberg, for the Hornets.
Vosberg has a 3.31 ERA in 55 innings pitched. He has a 61-29 strikeout to base on balls ratio. He has given up 39 runs, 26 of those earned, and he has a 1-2 record. He has command of 4 pitches. Sometimes has a little control problem, but he's been pitching very well for the Hornets. Something interesting about the catcher in Parker Jewell, he calls the pitches, he calls the game, and Coach Ross Capone, very impressed with his ability behind the plate.
Yeah, that's a sign of maturity and knowledge. I'm sure his dad probably is a coach somewhere down his line somewhere, but that takes a lot of knowledge and a good job, especially for a Division IV team. It's a big break to have a good player with a baseball IQ like that.
Carson Solstead will lead things off for the Lions. He's a .369 hitter batting from the left side. He'll be followed by Burat and LeBlanc, as you already mentioned. And this is the bottom of the first inning, the first opportunity for the Lions to see what they can do. Again, you said it earlier, they have played the Hornets before and beat them 12-0.
Well, it looks like the Hornets have come to play here in that first inning, loading the bases, but not scoring any runs.
Grisham's fouled off.
What I like here is the colorful matchup. The green jerseys for Catholic Point Coupee look a lot like Tulane as you get the two-strike pitch.
This one is hit into shallow center field. Coming up to make the play is Brooke Capson. Let's take a look around the horn of the rest of the defense.
So for Point Coupee, in left field, Andrew Savan. Center fielder, Brooks Caps. Right fielder, Carter Hotard. In the infield, Cooper Walker at first, Faustin Guidry at second, Micah Nipple at third, Jude Morrison at short. Pitcher is Luke Vosberg, and behind the plate, as you mentioned, Parker Jewell.
Called strike. This is Wyatt Burat, the pitcher, batting .379. And the wind is whipping at least right around us. The flag in center field isn't blowing much, but it is definitely swirling, and that was a swing and a miss.
Yeah, the game time temperature was 88 degrees, and the wind was blowing out towards center at about 10 miles an hour. We're feeling that right now, but like you said, the flag is not moving at all.
But it is a perfect, exactly what you would expect for a late April baseball game here in the afternoon in South Louisiana. No chance of rain. This breaking ball gets him to swing and strikes him out. So a good pitch that time by Vosberg.
Yeah, really good job of getting the first two guys out. He's trying to work a very quick inning as you have a shallow fly to center and a strikeout. Good job by Vosberg for sure.
Mason LeBlanc will drive this one on a check swing, a grounder into center field, and he will have the first hit of the afternoon for the Lions.
And that's what you need to get on track. As I mentioned in the first inning, the two base hits by Pointe Coupee were solid base hits. That will be what we call a little check swing bleeder right up the middle where nobody was. The second baseman, Guidry, just could not get to it, and now the first base runner of the day for the Lions.
Wyatt Stafford will step to the batter's box, batting .389. Pitch a little inside.
Yeah, tried a little breaking ball, trying to cut into the hitter, but broke a little bit too much, too soon. 1 ball.
High and outside, ball 2.
Chance for a 2-out rally here by the Lions. If you recall in the first inning, Catholic Pointe Coupee had the bases loaded but could not score a run.
You mentioned it earlier. This Lions squad coming off that upset of the number 13 seeded St. John of Plaquemine. So they're feeling pretty good in this latter part of the season. They have come on strong, had an up and down early part of the season, but Coach Capone has been very pleased with the effort by the Hornets.
And you have the walk right there, but as you get the runner on first and second. But one thing I wanted to point out, you're talking about how well they're playing lately. Final game of the season was a really important game. They took on Prairieville on the final game of the season. And as you know, Prairieville is a 5A school playing in Division I. And Prairieville was on the outside looking into playoffs. If they won, they could have been alive for a playoff berth. So they played that game very seriously. And Catholic Pointe Coupee beat them. And that's a 1A team beating a 5A team with everything on the line. So they're a solid team. So 1 ball, the count to Flynn.
Flynn batting .351 on the season. A lot of, I think only 2, maybe 3 guys don't bat it over .300 for this Lion team. 5 straight pitches and 6, make that 6 straight balls.
Exactly. After getting 2 quick outs, Vosberg cannot find the strike zone.
And Coach Ross Capone mentioned that he's a little bit of a streaky pitcher. That pitch will find the mark.
That was a good pitch on the outside corner. Flynn taking all the way as you're going to wait for a guy that's thrown 6 straight balls to offer you something before you swing it.
Boy, that fastball was moving.
Yes, it was. Good heat right there. And now the count goes from 2-0 to 2-2 with 2 outs here in the first inning.
His velo about 82, maybe 85 at the very top of his range. And this one will be a chopper. Taken on a weird hop by the second baseman. Did he pull off the bag? No, he did not. He stayed on. Nice job for Faustin Guidry to throw it over to Cooper Walker. And we had 2 runners left on 1 hit and no errors. No run score. We will be back after this as we head to the top of the second inning. You're watching the Rev Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you some of the services we offer to help get you out of pain and back in action. Dry needling involves inserting thin, sterile needles into trigger points within muscles to release tension, reduce pain, and improve movement. It's highly effective for muscle tightness, chronic pain, and headaches. Joint manipulation. By applying a quick, controlled force to a joint, we can restore mobility, reduce stiffness, and relieve pain. Cupping therapy uses suction cups to increase blood flow, reduce muscle tension, and promote healing. With instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization, we apply targeted pressure to break down scar tissue and speed up recovery. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
No score as of yet as we start the second inning. The Hornets will start off with Brooks Capps in the 7-hole, followed by Carter DeVilliers, the DH, and then Andrew Savan will bat ninth, and then we'll be back to the top of the order if we get there. Of course, 2 hits in that first inning for Pointe Coupee.
But most importantly, no runs on the Ascension Christian side, with Burat striking out the last 2 hitters.
Burat comes to the plate, right down the pipe, called strike.
So it looks like after a kind of rocky start, Burat has found his way.
I mean, when you look at his stat line, 73 strikeouts to only 5 walks. I mean, that's almost unheard of.
And that's it doesn't matter which division, what size of a district you're playing in. If you're throwing in the strike zone, you're going to get outs.
That's right. So he's missed 3 straight pitches.
And that's usually what happens. We jinx them.
Blaming you, my friend, blaming you. That one was a fastball right down the middle, and Capps couldn't catch up. It's a full count. First full count of the afternoon, I believe, for Burat.
And it would be odd for him to give up a walk right here. He's averaging less than 1 a game.
Popped up. Out of play and just behind us. Now we have a shot. To possibly catch a foul ball here if you're quick enough.
Yeah. It would have to go through our little tarp, though. We're very grateful for Ascension Christian because it's hot and warm, and that sun is going to burn my head as it gives up a rare walk.
Yes, but it didn't miss by much. But nonetheless, he puts the first man on for the second inning in a row. Check that. He did not put.
He had to pop up to third
right.
to start, but then you gave up 3 straight base runners. So he's had traffic both innings so far.
Carter DeVilliers, the DH, he's had a little bit of an injury problem, but according to Coach Capone, he has been cleared, so he's DHing today. He also plays some right field, but Carter Hotard is there today.
And, Jimmy, to bring up the rest about the uniforms, as we said, Pointe Coupee looks a little bit like Tulane. You got a little throwback to the old Astros rainbow jerseys from back in the day.
I remember those.
Not quite the same, but I think it's kind of reminiscent.
And he would have had to climb the fence to get that one down the first base line. Way out of play.
I'm sure that some people in the audience, you and I know Lyle back home, are very familiar with those old Astros jerseys.
Absolutely.
Especially with the orange and the blue. Got the right shades.
1 ball, 1 strike to the batter, Carter DeVilliers.
And having a little trouble finding the strike zone for the last 6 or 7 pitches.
Missing again. Call time. Catcher Keegan Bourgeois wants to go talk to his pitcher.
Right. We talked about it. He's on the brink of giving up double-digit walks on the season. He definitely does not want to do that, stay in those single digits. He's at 9 right now, but he's had back-to-back 3-ball counts. He had 1 2-ball count in the first, but like we said, this guy usually fills up the strike zone.
Burat has committed to Belhaven College in Mississippi as a catcher, not as a pitcher. Now this one will be a slow roller to shortstop. Gets past him, and that'll be I believe the second error on him for the ball game.
Yeah, that's a close one. I mean, you could judge that a hit or an error. Let's look at it on the replay and see what we can see.
You make the call, Mr. Scorer.
I think The question is, would he been able to make an out right there? Because that was a little slow hit. I might rule him a single right there.
Done.
All right, to left field. That's a tough one, though. Because, like I said, with a little backhand stab deep in the hole, you might not get that runner at first.
So the first trip for Andrew Savan now coming up to the plate. He squared the bunt and pulled it back for a ball. So you got Caps after being walked at second base. DeVilliers gets the base hit and advances the runner. First baseman LeBlanc playing way close on the infield grass, and that's called strike.
And 5 of the first 8 batters for Catholic Pointe Coupee have reached base so far. That's a very unusual thing for Burat.
We got the official word it was a hit. Trying to stab at a strike and misses on the bunt, trying to lay it down the left field, third base line. And that is 1-2 the count.
And you want to get Savan out right here as he's a low hitter at the number 9 spot, but you get right back to the top of the lineup right after this. And you don't want to face bases loaded with no outs in 1-2-3 coming up.
Burat takes a deep breath, delivers, called, strike 3. Got him looking, and Savan goes down for the third strikeout of the afternoon for Burat. We head to the top of the key for Jude Morrison, top of the batting order, for Jude Morrison.
Right, no arguments there. That was a good strikeout. That was a good pitch. First batter caught looking on the Pointe Coupee side, but they still have the top of the order here with 1 out.
Morrison popped out in foul territory, way in foul territory down the third base line. It worked out perfectly where Brignac, the sophomore, was able to go through the fence, through the gate, and make the catch. I didn't know that was actually legal, but I guess it is.
It's tough to see out there. You have the I don't know if there was an opening out there, but you can see if you look at the dugout on the Lions side, their little stand right there is kind of stuck out a little bit, and so you got the fence that goes almost all the way out to their dugout. So I don't know if there's a fence right there or not. You can't really see it from our vantage point. But he definitely kind of got it in that little hole right there between the dugout and the fence.
No balls and a strike to Jude Morrison, the shortstop, leadoff man. 1 out, 2 runners on the base paths. Caps at second, DeVilliers at first.
Good job by Pointe Coupee, taking some pitches, not chasing after any junk outside the strike zone. That's why the count has kind of gone high on some of these hitters.
Fastball a little bit low. 2-0, 2-1, excuse me. Didn't mention it's 315 down the line, about 340 in the alleys, and 390, 385 straightaway center field.
Right. If you're going to hit a ball out the park here, you're going to have to take it for a ride. This is not a little sandbox out here. It's not as big as a place like Dutchtown necessarily with the double-decker fences and things like that. But this is a pretty tough ballpark to hit it out.
I do love the beauty of the turf fields that we've been seeing, but this natural grass and natural dirt, I like it.
Yeah, and very well kept field out here.
Beautiful. Breaking ball missing. 3-1.
Something that you're going to have to look for. This pitch count is going to get elevated very quickly if Burat can't get some quick outs. That's in our direction.
Yep, and it is fouled out of play over the concession stand.
Working back to a full count. This is the second full count that we've seen this inning. He also had one to Caps before he walked. Caps right out second base.
He likes what he sees. Oh, call time. Morrison called timeout. Morrison's quite the athlete. Point guard on the basketball team, quarterback on the football team. He's going to be playing golf tomorrow to see if he can qualify for the state tournament in golf. So he does a little bit of everything.
And that's what you do at some of these schools. When you are at 1A school, if you're an athlete, you're going to play every sport.
This pitch misses, and he walks his second batter of the inning. Very uncharacteristic of Burat.
Yeah, I wonder if he's ever done that this season, and it looks like coach might be headed out to have a conversation with him. And the thing that you want to keep in the back of your head, I've done an unofficial pitch count based on my scorecard, and I think he's approaching 40 pitches already in an inning in a third. And they're going to have to get somebody ready unless he can right the ship very quickly. You're going to have to see another pitcher come in here before the end of the day if he doesn't figure things out right now. And I'm sure coaches just tell him, relax, throw some strikes. Let's see what we can do in the infield. Make some plays. Trust your defense.
Well, so far, the Hornet batters have done a phenomenal job of keeping it away from the defense. They've hit the ball away from people or line drive where nobody can make a play. And when you can do that, you can really wreak havoc on a guy that's throwing strikes, and you can get the bat on the ball.
Now, the corners are playing on the grass. The middle infield is playing back.
Change up. Strike one. Parker Jewell, by the way, at the plate.
He got a base hit. He had the clean single right up the middle past the pitcher.
He was stranded at third base in the first.
Calling time.
No pitch clock in high school baseball, of course.
No.
This one's going to be a slow one. Scooped at third. To home. Got the out. Bases remain loaded, but run doesn't score. Heads-up play by the sophomore Luke Brignac to bring it home to Keegan Bourgeois.
He was a little in on that, so the other option that he had would be to step on third and try to get the tag at home plate because he would not have been forced at that point. But you don't want to risk that. You don't want to fall behind 1-0, so they went for the sure out and got the second out of the inning. So good job, good decision there by Brignac.
So it puts Jewell on first base on the fielder's choice. Brings up Micah Nipple. Also had a base hit to start off. He was the third batter of the first inning. This off-speed pitch, strike one.
So the fielder's choice for Jewell. Now, if Nipple can get a base hit, they could take the lead, but Burat needs a third out right here. And got the 0-2 count.
Got him chasing that curveball.
And it looks like the visit to the mound is paying dividends so far. That one's definitely high, Jimmy. I know some of the home team got excited. The fans want that strike three, but that was definitely high.
No argument from me, my friend. 1-2 the count. That pitch also a little bit high.
Yeah, it is a little bit high. I want to say there's a really good crowd on the Ascension Christian side, but a lot of people came from Pointe Coupee Parish, out around New Roads and Livonia and all that area. Then they're supporting their team as well.
Rocket and fire is Burat. 3 straight high pitches. So he was 0-2, and now he's 3-2. No place to put him.
Yep, and another 6-pitch at bat. He's going to be well over 50 pitches before this inning's over.
Six batters in the first inning. So far he's faced. This will be his 6th batter, and this is fouled straight back into the screen. This is his 6th batter in the second inning.
Even if you look at like pitch count and being forced to pull a guy, this right now Burat may get to the 5th inning at this pace if he's lucky. So you're going to have somebody coming in the bullpen eventually.
Deep breath, the runners are going. Strike 3, got him looking. And that was a big pitch for Burat.
And it was a beautiful pitch and a strike all the way.
Let's take a look now, as we have a minute, at our Ascension Christian Lions last 5 years.
And this is an opportunity to make history. You were talking about where were you, and this could be the moment when, since the COVID season, they have not gotten through to the quarterfinals. As you look, back-to-back-to-back regional seasons. And in 2021, they did not make the playoffs, and then 2020 was the COVID year, so there wasn't even any playoffs at that time. So the first chance this decade to advance past the regional round for the Lions. So this could be a big moment for this team if they can break through. And right now, Burat is a little erratic on the mound, not having a lot of not issues with the control, but he's still getting the traffic. He's loaded the bases in back-to-back innings, 6 base runners for Pointe Coupee and no runs scored. That's huge.
So far, 3 hits in the game for the Hornets, only 1 for the Lions. We start things off with Keegan Bourgeois, followed by Jacob Brignac and Baylor Guidry. So the 6, 7, and 8 hole hitters will start things off here in the bottom of the second inning. We're still scoreless in this regional playoff game.
Walsburg had a really nice first inning. The base hit that he gave up was that little check swing that went right up the middle from Mason LeBlanc, and then he walked Stafford. So he's given up a little bit of traffic, but he got out of the inning with a ground out to second base. Oh and 1 to Bourgeois, the leading hitter at 400.
This one hit hard, but will hang up a little bit, and making the play in center field will be Brooks Capps. He comes a couple of steps and makes the play.
And, right to the center field, playing dead center.
That's the same way they started the first inning, a fly out to center field.
Yep. That one was a little better hit, as Capps had to maybe come in a step or two.
Bunt laid down, goes off the pitcher's glove, and he can't handle it, and that's going to be an error on him.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And that's what you have to do sometimes to kind of change up the momentum, is when you got a hot pitcher who's getting outs, maybe see what the team can do in the field. And so you lay down a bunt, and they can't handle it, and now you got a base runner.
It was moving pretty good, and I think it spun away from him. He tried to – it went off the heel of his glove, and then he tried to barehand it after that and never could find the handle. Baylor Guidry now steps for his first opportunity at the plate.
So Baylor Guidry with 1 out, probably not a sacrifice situation, maybe swinging away. You got 8-9 coming up in the lineup.
Curveball misses, throwing to second base, and he'll throw that one into shallow center. A good thing that he was being backed up that time by the shortstop as Jewell. It got away from him. He still had a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But I think he just kind of pressed a little bit, threw it
right.
too hard, in other
words. And I think that Brignac had that base all the way, so it might have been wiser for him to just hold on to the ball right there.
One and 0, I believe, to Guidry. This will be fouled. Just caught a piece of it.
The home plate umpire just taking a second, let the catcher compose himself right there.
One count to Guidry. Guidry's a 172 hitter. And that one will be a wild pitch, and that will advance the runner to third base.
That's something that we haven't seen from Vosburg. No wild pitches in the first inning. Now he's had 2 of his last 3 pitches get away from the catcher, and there was nothing that Jewell could do about that one. Now they have a runner that's 90 feet away from taking a 1-0 lead for the Lions.
Going to be a chopper. Goes home, and it's low and in the dirt. It scores the run. It will allow the batter, Guidry, to get to second base, and the Lions take the lead in the second inning.
And this is what you do. You hit the ball in the infield and see if they can make a play in a pressure cooker situation. And you see they could not right there, as the throw was nowhere near the right place for Jewell to pick it up and swipe and make the tag. So an E5 right there on the Guidry bouncer, and Guidry moves to second on the throw. So it's a Guidry got to second on the E5, and now you got a runner at second with one out.
Popped up on the bunt. This time, Jewell will have an easy job to make the catch in foul territory, and there will be two away.
So you got a couple of tough balls that didn't even make it out of the infield for Ascension Christian. They got a run out of it after the error by the pitcher on the bunt and the error by the third baseman on the throw to the plate after two wild pitches. So mistakes account for the first Ascension Christian run.
We're back to the top of the order with Carson Suffstead. It was Cade Dowden who popped out just a second ago for the second out.
That's a big thing to get your 7 and 8 batters around and scoring a run. And now you move back to the top of the lineup.
Pitch is outside and high. Suffstead flew out to start the ball game into shallow center.
He's got a healthy batting average, 369.
Hit him.
Oh, on the ankle.
He's going to pretend like it didn't hurt, but I'm telling you it did.
Oh, no doubt. That's one of the most tender and unprotected areas that you can get hit, that or the shin. The ankle will hurt longer, but the shin will hurt quicker.
He'll walk it off and look like he's okay, but he will be at first base, Will Suffstead, and it brings up Wyatt Burett.
And Burett has a chance to help himself out as he is on the mound here for Ascension Christian with the 1-0 lead. He would like to make it 2-0.
He's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. Coming into the ball game, hitting .379. Change up. Foul ball is called, and it was a high chopper down the third base line.
One thing I'm noticing, Jimmy, is you're making contact right here with Ascension Christian, but they're not making really solid contact yet with Vosburg. You haven't connected on anything that's made it solidly to the outfield or toward the gap. If they can start doing that, they can blow this game open right here with a double or a triple.
That was a sharply hit ball in the sixth gap, and that will score and they'll hold him at third, and so you got bases loaded. So just as you were hoping for or asking for, he hit it on the screws and gets into left field.
Yeah, that was the best hit ball of the day by a mile for Ascension Christian. And usually with 2 outs, you would expect a runner from second to try to get to home plate. Guidry was at second, maybe got a little late of a move there. And the rare bases loaded situation here with 2 outs is you almost never see a runner held at third unless he's one of the slowest runners on your team with that 2 out situation.
Yeah, it looked like he was moving pretty good, and then
I think so too.
He made the turn, and then they pulled him back.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of arm Savan has in left field, but I'm sure they've seen and scouted this. They have seen this team before, and they've scouted them, I'm sure. So they probably believe that Savan has a solid arm, and it would have been a play at the plate.
Nonetheless, they hold him for the bases loaded situation now for Vosburg. They just had a quick meeting at the mound with Coach Ross Capone. Let's see if he settles down a little bit as Mason LeBlanc steps into the batter's box, and he had the only base hit in the first inning And that was that check swing we talked about earlier. Got it into shallow center. Called strike. Thought about taking a cut and then changed his mind. Might have been fooled a little bit on that one. Woo, a little high and inside.
You don't want to flirt with hitting a base runner or hitting a batter right here because it's going to score a run.
Rocks and fires, and this one is low and outside.
You have one walk. That was Stafford, the cleanup hitter, in the first inning so far by Vosberg. Oh, swung at ball 3.
2 balls, 2 strikes now to LeBlanc.
So far, Ascension Christian's reached on 2 hits, a walk, 2 errors, and a hit by pitcher.
Called strike 3, and they strand 3. That one was tough to deal with. Strikeout number 2 on the afternoon for Vosberg. We head to the end of the second inning. It's a 1-0 ball game. The Lions leading the Hornets. Back right after this on the Rev Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you some simple techniques that you can do at home to increase mobility and improve posture. The seated thoracic extension using a foam roller will improve your posture. Support your neck with your hands and keep your feet flat on the ground. Lean back over the foam roller while keeping your lower back neutral. Standing wand flexion is easy and very effective. Using a shoulder width grip, keep your arms straight and slowly raise the wand overhead as far as comfortable. For the pectoralis stretch, stand near a doorway and place your forearms against the wall at a 90-degree angle. Step forward slightly till you feel a slight pull in your chest to feel a stretch. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
Luke Vosberg, Faustin Guidry, and Cooper Walker, the 3 batters we'll start off with for the Catholic High Point Coupee Hornets. They trail 1 run. 1-0 is our score, and Burat back on the mound, and he throws this one high and inside.
Burat really needs to get about a 10-pitch inning right here.
Yeah.
Lau Boudreau told us he's up to 53 pitches, so at this pace he's not going to get to the 5th inning unless he can throw strikes and get some outs.
1-1 to Vosberg, the pitcher, so it's a little pitcher duel here. That breaking ball won't find the mark. It's way outside. He faced 12 batters total, 6 in the first and 6 in the second. And like you said, his pitch count is up. Woo, inside again.
Yeah, something is definitely off on his pitches right here because you don't ever see him wild.
And this one will be hit well. Making a run at it into right center field. It's Dowden making the catch, but he had to get on his horse. That was well hit.
Right. I thought that was a sure gapper right there, but a good job by Dowden. That ball got held up a little bit. It was probably the hardest hit ball, definitely the hardest hit ball of the day on either side, but it's just a long, loud out.
Faustin Guidry now. He struck out his first trip to the plate. Foul ball, strike 1. Good cut, though.
Yes.
He catches up to that one. It's going to hit it hard.
That might be a break that you needed right there, Burat, to get the first out. He's given up 6 base runners now. None of them have scored, but you can't have that traffic and stay in this game.
Fastball blown by him. It's ahead of the count to Faustin Guidry. Did he get him? Got him. Ring him up. Strikeout number 5.
And there you go right there. So far, he's got the 3-pitch strikeout and the 5-pitch fly out to right. So this is just what the doctor ordered, 8 pitches and 2 outs for Wyatt Burat.
First baseman Cooper Walker steps to the plate. He struck out also his first trip to the plate. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Well, I certainly do feel that Burat is settling down. And just as I say that, but still it wasn't a bad pitch. It was just a little bit off.
He's got a little momentum on his side right now, feeling a little rhythm.
Strike 2. Reared back and threw that one.
I'm sure he's ready. He's on the mound ready to throw that next pitch. He's feeling it.
And you're right. He's not wasting any time. Strike 3 on 3. Swinging strikes. And that will do it. A 1-2-3 inning. Strikes out Faustin Guidry and Cooper Walker. And we head to the middle of the third. It's time to see what the Hornets have done the last 5 years.
And they have done a good job. They're a little bit on the downswing when you look at it because in 2021 they got to the semifinals. They were one win away from a state championship. And then they got to the quarterfinals, so they didn't make it to Sulphur in 22 or 23. And then in 24, you see the seed. They dropped to an 18 seed, but they still won a game and got to the regionals and then lost there. And that's where they are this year. They're a 20 seed. They've won 1 game, and they are fighting to get back to the quarterfinals. If they could, that would be 3 times in 4 years. That would be a good accomplishment. Now, with their coach, Capone, this is only his 2nd year, so this would be his first opportunity to go to the quarterfinals if he can get there. Now, what I want to bring up again, like I was talking about, I said that the pitcher, Burat, needed about a 10-pitch inning to get back on pace and to get back in the rhythm. That was a 12-pitch inning. So he's up to 65 pitches now. So that's
a lot better,
very efficient.
But still pretty high when you look at it in total.
Yeah.
But you're right. He needed that inning for sure. Vosburg rocks, fires, and blows it by number 2, Mason LeBlanc. No, check that. Wyatt Stafford.
Right. Got Stafford, Flynn, Bourgeois due up.
4, 5, and 6 in the order.
Now, Vosburg's doing very well. There's only been 1 solid hit, and that was the base hit by Burat that loaded the bases in the bottom of the 2nd. But they're not making good contact with him so far.
Likes the pitch now from Parker Jewell. Got him looking, confused him completely. Off-speed pitch on 3 straight pitches, so that's a good way to start for Vosburg.
And that's a beauty. 3-pitch, caught looking, and that is strikeout number 3 for Luke Vosburg.
David Flynn steps up.
He grounded to 2nd to end the 1st inning. Fouled off of his ribs.
Can't feel good.
Nope. Looks like he's okay, though.
Again, it's a 1-0 ball game. The home team Lions leading the Hornets of Catholic High Point Coupee. And we're in the 3rd, and this is got ahead of it that time and sends a sharp shot down the left field into foul territory.
You talked about it already. The batting averages, the hitters on this team, they're really solid for Ascension Christian, and Vosburg is doing a really good job. They're not making good contact with him at all today.
Hard fastball outside and high.
The only run that scored for Ascension Christian was unearned.
Yep.
As a result of 2 errors, one by the pitcher and one by the 3rd baseman.
That one will be hit to 2nd base, scooped up by Guidry. Guidry to 1st. And the Guidry to Walker combination is good for the 2nd out.
And that's the second time that David Flynn has grounded out to second into that first inning, like I said, and then he's the second out of the third.
Keegan Bourgeois, he's the batting average leader of this Lion team, batting an even .400 coming into the game. Hit one sharply to center field, but it got hung up, and the catch was easily made by Brooks Capps. This pitch called strike, finds the mark.
So now he's starting to find the strike zone. He's only thrown one ball so far this inning.
That's efficient.
And as I say that,
hey, old announcer's jinx, my friend. There's no way you could win on that one.
Nope.
Had to be said, though. It had to be said.
Well, I said that Burad needed a 10-pitch inning, and he got a 12-pitch inning. So sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't.
Good point. That was high, right at the eyeballs. 2-1 the count to Bourgeois.
Brignac would come up. Jacob Brignac.
Pal, I'm just noticing you got the short end of the tent stick here.
Oh, that's okay.
Ball 3.
I might have to put my hat back on.
It has just creeped over the edge of the tent right on top of you. 3-1 the count to Bourgeois. Lost him.
So Ascension Christian's had a base runner every inning so far.
I believe that's only the second walk of the game, and it is.
That's right. He's got a somewhat elevated pitch count, but nowhere near what Burad has, and we're going to have a pinch runner, or a runner coming in for Bourgeois, who is the catcher.
Jacob Brignac, the elder Brignac on this team. There's 3 Brignacs, all brothers. Senior, a sophomore, and an 8th grader. Boy, you saw him rear back and throw that one as hard as he possibly could, and it didn't find it.
I believe the runner is number 22, Braden Babin.
Hard shot in between third and the third baseman. Deep into left field. The runner is coming to third. They'll throw it to the shortstop as the cutoff man. And just like that, Jacob Brignac gets a double and advances the runners to third.
Probably the second hardest hit ball so far today for the Lions. Now, Babin over at first advanced to third, but the cutoff throw had already gotten to the infield by the time he was rounding third, so there was no opportunity to score on that play right there, and a smart move by the third base coach to hold him and keep them in this inning.
Now batting your DH number 6.
The DH, Baylor Guidry, steps to the batter's box, right-handed hitter. Guidry reached on an error in the second. It was that throwing error.
There has been traffic every inning, and in every inning you've had runners in scoring position, but we've only had 1 run scored so far. Pitchers have done a good job managing the traffic.
Guidry at the plate. That pitch. Ball.
Just missed. This is the 8th base runner so far in 2 2/3 innings for the Lions.
It was a good take that time. From my angle, it looked like it was a swingable pitch, but wisely held off.
So 8 base runners so far for Ascension Christian, 6 for Pointe Coupee.
Reaches for it. It's a slow one. The run will score. Another throwing error in the field. 2 runs come across. So it was a chopped bouncer to the pitcher. Vosberg grabbed it and tried to beat the runner to first base and overthrew Cooper Walker.
I think he felt like he was hurried because he looked to the plate to see if he had a play at the plate, and that kind of delayed the throw to first, but he still had time to make the play at first, and he hurried it, and he threw it high and wide at first base to the first baseman, and so that is a 2-run error. It would have gotten him out of the inning, so 2 runs will score, and so that's all 3 runs have scored on errors so far for Ascension Christian. Oh!
Caden Dowden.
He's a little frustrated, and
Yes.
he's going to have to calm down for a second. I understand his frustration.
Got hit right in the helmet. Thank God for helmets.
Yes.
Vosberg also going to have to calm down a little bit.
Yeah. That was a tough play. That was not deliberate, obviously.
No,
But I know if I got hit in the head, I'd be a little frustrated too, and I think he's hurt a little bit. They probably want to make sure that, because that got in that little area where you're near the cheek area, right outside the eye toward that temple area. That's a very dangerous spot to get hit, but I think he's going to be all right.
And I do believe Vosberg just kind of gave him a little signal saying, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, he knew he didn't, but when you're in that emotion, when you get hit and you hurt,
100%.
you kind of lose your cool for a second. So you can understand that.
So we're back to the top of the order with Carson Selfstead. Runners at first and second. Guidry reached on the throwing error by Vosberg, and then, of course, Cade Dowden hit by that pitch. This pitch, again, a little inside, forces Carson to do a little dance out of the way.
So the difference this game so far, Jimmy, is the errors.
Yep.
3 errors by Catholic Pointe Coupee, 1 so far for Ascension Christian. And, of course, the difference is the error by the Lions didn't give up any runs.
So Vosberg is definitely losing command a little bit of the strike zone.
Yeah, I'm sure he's frustrated with himself because he's committed 2 errors, and he just hit a batter.
3 straight balls to Solstead.
Coach is going to have a little conversation with him, I think, if he gives up another base runner right here. Just tell him to calm down. Everything's okay. Just get out of the inning.
He's walked 2 in this game and called strike. Whoa. Thought that was a little high, but.
And they got him tagged out at first base
sure
on
did.
a throwback because I believe the runner at first thought that was ball 4 and he was headed to second on a walk.
Well, that means that
he will come back up.
He will come back up. We head to the end of the 3rd inning. We'll be back right after this. It's a 3-0 ball game. The Lions leading the Hornets. Back after this on the Rev Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you simple exercises to improve shoulder strength and thoracic mobility for all athletes. Resisted external rotation will strengthen your rotator cuff. Stand tall with your arms straight out and the elbow bent at 90 degrees. Keeping your elbow in place, rotate your arm outward against the resistance. For internal rotation, set up the same 90-90 arm position, but with the resistance anchored on the same side. Rotate your arm inward, bringing your hand towards the ground while keeping your elbow fixed. This is called open books and half kneeling. The resistance band is held forward with both hands. Rotate your upper body open to the side, pulling the band across while keeping your lower body stable. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters for the Hornets in the top of the 4th, trailing 3-0. Brooks caps, followed by DeVilliers and Savan.
And so Burat comes into this inning with 65 pitches. 66 is a strike.
Well, if he could get another efficient inning like you mentioned in the 3rd, that would certainly go a long way. And this one right to the 3rd baseman, Brignac, and he doesn't have to move, but it was well hit.
And you want to talk about efficient, that's a 2-pitch out right there. It was a hard hit ball, though. Brignac, though, good reflexes, makes the out.
So he lines out to third base and then brings up Carter DeVilliers, the DH.
DeVilliers got a base hit to left field. That was one that was deep in the hole that shortstop could not get to.
Foul back down the third base line. And you've said it several times. The difference between the Hornets and the Lions is that it seems like the Hornets are putting the barrel of the bat on the ball much more effective. Now, they haven't been able to convert anything.
No,
but they're hitting the ball.
They've hit a couple of really loud outs so far.
That breaking ball finds it.
The Lions have had two really hard hit balls. One of them was by Burat and the other one was by Brignac. And both of them resulted in base hits.
But they could not get him across the plate.
Now, Catholic Point Coupee, they're like I said, their two hardest hit balls was that long shot to the right center that was caught by Dowden, and that line drive to Brignac right there.
1 ball, 2 strikes to DeVilliers. Got him to chase one low and outside, and that will be strikeout number 7.
Yeah, he was completely 100% fooled on that pitch as he missed that one by a mile as he was ahead of it and the pitch was out of the strike zone. So he had no chance right there. Good pitch by Burat. And so now you are 7 pitches in with 2 outs.
Bottom of the order in Andrew Savan. He struck out in the second. Bourgeois tries to frame that one. It's ball 2.
If he can get an out right here, he can definitely work through the 5th, maybe into the 6th.
And this one will be hit sharply. And diving for it, making the play in center field is Carson Solstead. What a play for him. A highlight reeler for sure. We head to the middle of the 4th. And you know what? We haven't talked about it yet, but the Ascension Christian Lions have a few people playing ball next year.
And that guy we just saw, Carson Solstead, he's going to be playing college ball next season over at Southeastern Baptist College. And another guy that's going to go to Southeastern Baptist College is Cade Dowden. As you see the replay, one heck of a catch right there. You've seen 2 good plays in the outfield, one by Solstead and one by Dowden. And you see down there, Solstead and Dowden are going to Southeastern Baptist College. Wyatt Burat, he's having a nice game. No runs given up through 4 innings. He's going to Belhaven, like you said, as a catcher. Got 2 LSU Alexandria guys, Jacob Brignac and Wyatt Stafford. And then Baton Rouge Community College is getting Mason LeBlanc. And then Keegan Bourgeois is going to go to Nunez Community College.
You just don't see 7 guys off a 9-man roster signing college scholarships, and we are glad that they've been able to do that.
And this is probably the reason why this team is in a position where if they can get 3 more clean innings, they could head to the quarterfinals and be 1 win away from Sulphur.
Carson Solstead, who just made that incredible catch, will step back to the plate, of course, after that weird play to end the 3rd inning.
Yeah, he was at the plate. We thought it was ball 4. So did the runner at first. So he was halfway to second. There was a called strike, and then he got picked off the base.
Inside and low, it evens the count of 1-1.
So this is actually the 7th pitch that he's seen. Mossberg trying to relax a little bit. Had a little rough inning in the 3rd as he gave up a couple of runs, and both of them on an error on a ground ball to him. So they'll eventually be unearned runs, but in his mind, he probably feels like he gave them up.
Right.
Counts 1-2.
Solstead flew out and was hit by a pitch. Another foul ball. Again, they're just not, like you said several times, they're just not able to quite get that solid contact.
Right. You've had a couple of solid ones, but I think that Point Coupee's hitting the ball a little better here today, but they just had bad luck.
And this one will be driven to right field. Making the play is Carter Hotard, who had to get on his horse and make the play, but he does so in deep right field.
And that's another, that looked like one of Point Coupee's at-bats where you hit a ball on a line, and that looked like it could have gone for extra bases, but Hotard had him play pretty well toward the line in right field, and is there to make the play.
Wyatt Burad now will make his trip to the plate and for his third trip. Outside.
Well, he called it a strike.
Wow. I looked down for 2 seconds and he hadn't made the call yet.
Yep, and you can't really hear him.
Chopped. Foul.
He had a well-hit base hit in the second inning, but was stranded at first base.
0-2 the count to Burad. And that one will be golf swung into left field. It'll roll all the way to the fence, and he'll have to hold it one. But nonetheless, he just sandwiched that one out there.
Yeah, he had made really good contact with it. It was a well-hit ball considering that you got it at the very tip of your bat. And he gets a base hit. That's his second base hit of the day. He's 2 for 3.
Mason LeBlanc, he is a big boy, standing about 6'2". Left-handed batter coming into the game at 342. This pitch called strike.
And like we said a moment ago, he is one of those signees. Baton Rouge Community College doesn't have very far to go for his first couple of years at school.
You know, it's so great that we have Baton Rouge Community College now that has sports, because we haven't had that. Most states have that community college,
right?
Kind of a farm league a little bit.
Yeah, Mississippi does that a lot,
really well.
Mm-hmm. You see that especially in football and a little bit in baseball. It'd be nice if we could get some at RPCC and some of the other schools as well.
Yep. (3-1) to LeBlanc.
And even if these guys don't have a future in the big leagues or anything like that, it gets them a couple of years of cheap college, and it maybe can get them moving on to a bigger university and getting a degree. And that's always a positive when you can get a college degree and still play baseball a little bit for a couple of years. Looks like the kids out there in left field were tossing the ball around, and they got over the fence. So they took care of that.
Got to dive for those kids. Got to make that catch. Can't slow down the big boys. Mason LeBlanc.
Runner's going, but
fouled it off.
A little hit and run action.
Evens in it. Check that. 3-2. 3-1.
No, it's 3-2.
It is 3-2. Okay.
Yes.
Payoff pitch on its way from Vosberg. Fouled off again. Dipping that shoulder just a tiny bit. Fouls it back. Still a 3-0 ball game with the Lions leading the Hornets in this do-or-die playoff game in the regionals. And that one will be a line shot into right field. The runner will advance, so a nice at-bat there for Mason LeBlanc.
That ball was so hard hit that Burad never had an opportunity to get to third. He's going to stop at second, doing a little station-to-station baseball as Carter Hotard gets the ball in very quickly. No opportunity to move there.
Brings up Wyatt Stafford. Stafford walked and was struck out.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead, not at all.
Sometimes I forget that I'm not the play-by-play guy, Jimmy.
Ah, man, well.
Got to know my place.
No, sir. Take it away. That one is another well-struck ball in the gap. This is going to score a run from second in Burad. And it's 4-0.
And that's the first RBI of the day. Stafford will pick it up as Burad scores from second. It looked like Morrison had a chance to keep it in the infield, but his glove, it went underneath his arm. He extended a little too far on that, and it went into left field. Savan had no play. And so you got first and second and a conversation on the mound. And Vosberg's pitch count is starting to get a little elevated as well, and that's going to be it for him.
Yeah, Vosberg will leave the game, and I believe they're going to bring in Jude Morrison, the shortstop, to pitch. So he has not been able to warm up, per se.
Right. So he'll get his share of pitches. He has a 4.44 ERA. After Vosberg, he is the team leader in earned run average, and then everybody else, you start getting into near that 4 area or into that 4 area. And then after you get past Morrison and Walker in your bullpen, then you got a couple of guys like Hotard and Nipple that are in the 8s. So this is going to be a really difficult situation for Catholic Point Coupee, down 4-0, and not a lot of stuff in your bullpen. And when you talk about some of these teams that are playing right now, what Catholic Point Coupee's goal is to go through our District 8-1A and get a sweep of at least of 2 of the 3 teams. They beat St. John. We talked about that out in Plaquemine. They got defeated and upset by Catholic Point Coupee. Now they have Ascension Christian, but they're trailing in this game. And then, like we talked about, on the other side of the bracket, you got Ascension Catholic. Now, if you wound up with an All-Ascension Catholic or All-Ascension Parish matchup in the Division 4 Select Finals, that would have to be in the finals. So those 2 teams would not meet. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. So I believe check that number. Okay, so
16 is in at short.
So that means Nipple has moved over to short. Crabtree is now at third base. I believe the number is 12, right?
Morrison is 12.
Top seeds right here. You see
yeah.
For Division 1,
okay.
For Division 4 Select, Covenant Christian is number 1, Vermilion Catholic is 2, Opelousas Catholic is 3, Ascension is 4, Glenbrook 5, and Ascension Catholic is 6. So Ascension Christian, is 4, Ascension Catholic is 6.
So Morrison is on the mound, like you had told us. Then you got, we'll get the rest of that in just a minute.
We're getting a little breeze here.
Yep. And so Nipple's moved to short.
Right. And I'm pretty sure it's Crabtree. And Nipple's going to get the first play at shortstop, throw to third for the out.
Good job right there. Very smart. 6-5 for the force.
And that was David Flynn batting. 2 away.
Number 5, Keegan Bourgeois.
Bourgeois will step to the plate. And Carson Crabtree is, again, at third.
So he would be in that spot for Burat, for Vosberg. We'll have to see if Vosberg still bats.
Called strike for Morrison. Or actually on Bourgeois, pitched by Morrison.
4-0. You can't let it get past this with only 9 outs left, perhaps in your season.
Going to try to get him off, and they will have to chase it down, and they're lucky that it didn't go too far because, again, the throw is a little bit off. I'm not sure that Nipple really expected him to throw the ball down to second.
No, it seems like Jewell's pretty fearless. We've seen a couple of throws that maybe he didn't have to do so far here today.
Bourgeois in the batter's box. He's 0 for 1. They're going to throw it, just keep him honest.
Yeah.
At second base.
You need to keep him close to the bag because with 2 outs, he's going to go on contact, and the base hit could potentially score him. If we can get a little shallow hit and keep him at third, that would be really critical.
Right back up the middle. Taken and by the second baseman, who is Foster Gidry. And that was a tough play for him. It was right back up the middle, played it beautifully, and that will end the 4th inning. 1 run scores on a couple of hits, and we will be back right after this. You're watching the Rev Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you some of the services we offer to help get you out of pain and back in action. Dry needling involves inserting thin, sterile needles into trigger points within muscles to release tension, reduce pain, and improve movement. It's highly effective for muscle tightness, chronic pain, and headaches. Joint manipulation. By applying a quick, controlled force to a joint, we can restore mobility, reduce stiffness, and relieve pain. Cupping therapy uses suction cups to increase blood flow, reduce muscle tension, and promote healing. With instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization, we apply targeted pressure to break down scar tissue and speed up recovery. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
We are back to the top of the order for the Hornets. They'll lead off with Jude Morrison, Jewell, and Nipple.
Now, one of the things that I've been keeping track of, as you guys already know if you've been watching, Wyatt Burat's pitch count, which got elevated into the 50s by the second inning. He's now retired 7 in a row, and he's had low pitch count innings, so now he's pretty much in a groove, and he's in the 70s. He can get through this 5th inning without a problem if he can stay in the strike zone. That's been his. That's been the thing that's made him much more effective.
This one's a little low to start things off here in the 5th.
I'm not sure where their bullpen is. It's not in the field, so I can't tell if they had anybody warming up or if it's an infielder that might come in.
Good job for the speedy, very speedy center fielder, Carson Sufstead.
So he's made 2 nice outs in a row.
Well, Sufstead is an incredibly fast guy. He has done a tremendous job out there.
Number 7, Parker Jewell.
He has been all over the place. Brings up Parker Jewell. Called strike.
So Jewell got a base hit up the middle. Very clean hit. And then reached on a fielder's choice.
Little can of corn, he has to make the play, and that is the second baseman, Wyatt Stafford. He called everybody off. It was so high, I think just about anybody could have gotten to it, but he still had to make that catch with the swirling wind.
And this is the Burat that was advertised.
Yep.
So now we've got a 4-pitch, 2-out inning so far for him. So he's going to hit 80 on this pitch.
Finds it. Man, he has found the groove. This is Micah Nipple, the third, now shortstop. This is hit on the screws, but it's right back out to the center fielder, Solstead. And that is it. 1, 2, 3 goes the inning as we head to the middle of the 5th. What do we have coming up?
Well, let's take a look here. Now, some of the upcoming games that are still going on for baseball and softball, we will not be broadcasting these games as they're all on the road. Might be a good weekend to take a little trip to Lake Chuck and
You're not kidding.
And Sulphur, because Dutchtown's going to play at Barb in a quarterfinal matchup Friday and Saturday, May 2nd and May 3rd. Now, Dutchtown can win. That's a 10 versus 3 matchup. So Dutchtown, if they can pull off the upset, they will host a semifinal best-of-3 series to go to Sulphur for the finals. Now, the softball semifinals, you see right there, Santa Maria and Dutchtown both made it. East Ascension was eliminated by Santa Maria in the quarterfinals. That was our game of the week Saturday that Jimmy and I gave you. Now, Santa Maria's got a really tough game against Sam Houston. They lost by 11. Or make that 10, I think. 10 or 11 in their first matchup. They were run ruled. Now, Dutchtown versus Walker, that's a 5-5A matchup. So you're guaranteed a 5-5A team in the semifinals. Now, Santa Maria can pull off the upset. You could have an all 5-5A finals in Division I non-select softball. That would be awesome.
That would be spectacular. Jacob Brignac, third baseman and sophomore. We'll start things off, followed by Baylor Guidry and Cade Dowden. That's your 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters.
This game was pretty competitive. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's been pretty competitive early as both teams were stranding a lot of base runners, but it kind of changed after you had those errors in the second and third innings that kind of gave up 3 of the 4 runs, and then you got a clean run there in the fourth. That's where we stand right now.
Yeah, Vosberg gave it a gallant effort, but just in the end, didn't quite have it today.
You know, and I'm sure he's disappointed in his performance because he had that error. He actually committed 2 errors, but one of them gave up 2 runs on that throw to first.
And hit a couple of batters, and that was a hard shot off the leg of the third baseman.
And it's out of play.
Crabtree, so that's a ground rule double?
Yep. It bounced.
That'll be an error, right? It's got to be. Is it?
I think that's a base. I think that's a well-hit ball.
Hard enough hit, okay.
I'm going to call that a base hit.
I think you're right, and I'll be corrected in a minute, which is good.
Yeah. But that was just a really tough break. I mean, the ball was hit so hard, it came off his knee or shin and bounced all the way about 30 feet out of the field of play. So when the ball was hit if the ball ricochets that far, that was a really, really well hit ball.
I agree with you. That's why I'm not the official scorer, that's for sure. Called strike to Baylor Guidry, the DH. He's reached base both times on an error in the second and the third innings. Caught a piece of it. Strike 2.
Really important for Ascension Christian to get a couple of insurance runs because you don't know how much further Burat can go. He can get you through the 6th for sure.
Swung on, and it's a looper, and he did a great job to catch the ball and tag the base for a double play. Wow. So it was a looping line drive right to the second baseman. He was playing close to the bag, and he touched the bag right there to double him off.
Yeah, if he would have taken a couple extra steps and stepped on the bag himself, there's a likelihood that Brignac would have got back in time. So he did the right thing and just tagged the base with the glove and the ball. And now you get 2 outs, just like that.
Cade Dowden swings and misses. We've seen a little bit of everything in this game so far.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Strike 2.
And what I've really liked is you've had the errors in the infield on some tough plays on little dribblers, but we've seen some really nice plays in the outfield, nice plays by the second baseman, Guidry for Pointe Coupee.
Called strike 3. They pull a string, and just like that, they have a 1-2-3 inning. And that will do it for the 5th. We'll be back right after this. You're watching the Rev Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you some simple techniques that you can do at home to increase mobility and improve posture. The seated thoracic extension using a foam roller will improve your posture. Support your neck with your hands and keep your feet flat on the ground. Lean back over the foam roller while keeping your lower back neutral. Standing wand flexion is easy and very effective. Using a shoulder width grip, keep your arms straight and slowly raise the wand overhead as far as comfortable. For the pectoralis stretch, stand near a doorway and place your forearms against the wall at a 90-degree angle. Step forward slightly till you feel a slight pull in your chest to feel a stretch. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
Back to action here. And this is number 15. I had him as Crabtree, but I don't think that's correct.
No, that is Cooper Walker. No, that's not Cooper Walker. Excuse me.
It's number 15.
It is. It's supposed. It says Crabtree.
Okay.
Carson Crabtree. So he's batting for the original pitcher, Vossberg.
I listened to the PA announcer. I must have misheard him. Gave me a little pause. So Crabtree will start things off. Strike 3 on 3 pitches.
And you talk about the turnaround. That's 11 in a row for Wyatt Burat. And after the second inning, he had 53 pitches. Going into the 6th inning, he had 81. So that means in his last 3 innings, he threw 28 pitches. So he's averaging under 10 after those big inning 1 and inning 2 pitch counts. And now he's at 85 pitches with 1 out here in the 6th.
So this is Guidry now at the plate. Out of play and well fouled.
So that is one of the most remarkable turnarounds you see from a starting pitcher, because he looked like he might not make it to the 4th or 5th inning, and now he's cruising into the 6th. So that's a great turnaround by Wyatt Burat.
Did he go around?
Does not get the call. 2-1 the count.
He went around that time.
He's looking for his 8th strikeout.
That one in the dirt.
Yeah, he wanted to chase some junk right there.
Guidry's going to be followed by Cooper Walker. One way or another. Foul tip. Stays alive. Not by much, but he does stay alive.
And that's big. You need to get some base runners right here and chase Burat because he's on fire right now. You don't want to let him get into the 7th inning. You need to elevate this count a little, pitch count a little bit, and maybe get a reliever in the 7th. You can't get to him.
They stranded 3 in the 1st. They stranded 3 in the 2nd. And Burat misses that one and walks it.
3rd walk, excuse me. He had 2 walks in that 2nd inning where the pitch count got really, really high.
But that is the first base runner in 3 innings.
Yep.
For the Hornets. And that is a credit to Burat on the mound. As we are in the top of the 6th. Swing and a strike to Cooper Walker. So he came in to the game only having 5 walks, did Burat. He's added 3 to his total this time, but still pitching quite well.
Right, I thought you had said it. I made a mistake. I thought it was 8. So like he's still under single digits.
Yes.
So that's remarkable as you get into the 2nd round of the playoffs.
He's only allowed 8 runs.
That was what. See, I got confused there for a second.
1 ball, 2 strikes to the batter. Cooper Walker, the lefty first baseman. Got him on a just bugabooed him completely. KO number 9, and that's 2 outs here in the 6th.
Number 2, Brooks Caps.
Brooks Caps now steps up.
He walked. He was forced out at home in that 2nd inning, and then he had a line drive to the 3rd baseman that was snagged by Brignac.
A little high on the breaking ball.
Just so remarkable. In the after the first 8 batters of this game, you had 3 hits. No hits since then.
Low.
This is the only base runner that you have, Guidry at first, since the 2nd inning.
Whew, that fastball got past him. That was a no-doubter. 2 balls and a strike.
So he's near that 100 pitch count.
Well, if he can get out of this one. 3-1 now. He's got 2 outs. If he could get out of this inning, he might throw a complete game, which is rare these days, even in 7-inning games for high school.
Yeah, he's going to need some help from the bats and make some contact. He can't throw a lot more pitches or they're going to have to pull him.
Did he swing? He did. Strike 3, and that was a big pitch. And we head to the middle of the 6th. Jeff, it's almost the end of school, but what's coming up on Rev Game of the Week?
Well, it's going to be summer replay season on the Rev Game of the Week. We got lots of games to choose from. We've had some really, really outstanding games that we've covered. During the baseball season, we've had some classics. I know that some of the ones that I remember most would be when Prairieville defeated East Ascension in extra innings. You also had the game between in the playoffs between Dutchtown and Airline where Case and Johnson had a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 7th inning, and then they scored they gave up a base hit. But that was a fun game to watch. And you had some great basketball games. You covered a couple of really good playoff games with East Ascension. So there's a lot of things that we can choose from.
You know, I think this is our 60th game, if I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken on that. But that is a lot of games on the Rev Game of the Week. And we do want to thank Rev for being such a community-minded company and allowing us to be all over the parish and bring you every sport that we possibly can, from girls and boys soccer to basketball and football and softball and baseball. So a little bit of everything, and it's a wonderful service that Rev provides to Ascension Parish.
We are definitely glad to be part of that. And I even learned how to become a color analyst, even though I step on you every now and then.
And you are a man of many talents.
I appreciate your patience.
We are back to the top of the order with a man who has gotten a lot of work in the field in Carson Solstead. He's flown out twice to the outfield, once to center and once to right, and then he was hit by a pitch in the second.
His true value is in the field, though. He has made 2 great plays.
Overthrew that one a little bit that time.
Some insurance would be nice here. 4 runs, you feel pretty good with a pitcher who we have been told has just hit pitch 100. So his time is limited.
Yeah.
So you a 5 or 6 nothing lead would be ideal.
Is there a true pitch limit to high school pitching?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe there is a point of no return.
Gotcha. 4 straight pitches to Solstead, and they walk him. That was the first walk from Morrison.
I remember that, Jimmy, when last season we had a playoff game between Benton and Santamon, and Benton had to pull their pitcher, even though he had a lead in the 7th inning, and it was pretty good. He could not face another batter, or else there would have been a problem.
Wow. Morrison's having trouble finding the strike zone here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
But that game, I was doing that game with Mike Moeller, and we were wondering why it was, and I talked to Chris Shakesnyder, who was in the stands watching the game. That's the Dutchtown head coach, and I said, why do you think they pulled that pitcher? And he said they had to. He had reached his limit.
Well, he was upset with himself that time because he knew that was out, and he still check swung. He went around, and they gave him the strike. Woo! That'll wake him up. And he is hit by a pitch. That's the first time that Morrison's hit a batter.
And you got your big guy coming up, but with no outs and a 4-run lead, this is probably a situation where most coaches would try to lay one down, considering the fielding issues that Pointe Coupee has had as well. But I don't think you take the bat out this guy's hand. That's a big debate you have right here. I think he's swinging away.
He is 2 for 3. I think you mentioned that. So let's see what Mason LeBlanc can do. And he does do exactly what you said. At least he scored. He squared the bunt.
Yeah. I think that's what everybody's looking for, but that was kind of a half-hearted attempt, I believe, maybe to kind of lull him in a little bit. And the first baseman's playing in the grass, just barely in the grass. Everybody's back.
Yeah, third baseman's playing in the dirt.
That's what I
Golf
thought.
Swinging. Foul.
I thought they might take a shot at it right there. A bunt wouldn't be a bad call right there, but you don't take the bat out this guy's hand. Especially at 347.
Right. Outside.
And you got 386 cleanup hitter coming up after him, so you may not see them lay one down at any point here.
Slow roller. Scoop throws to second for the out. Try to get back to first for the double play. A run will score. That insurance run you were looking for. Another throwing error in the field. That time by Boston Guidry, I believe.
I think it was Nipple at second.
Oh, was it Nipple at second? Okay.
Yeah.
And
so you have the E6 where the runner's going to score. So this is a possibility of another unearned run depending on how the rest of this inning goes.
So the ball reaches on the fielder's choice. But
yeah,
we do have one away.
And he is going to stay at first, so he didn't advance on the error. Run scored on the error, though. That's just foul.
Not by much. That was driven deep.
Actually, the runner did get to – no, okay, I was about to say he ran back to second, but he was advancing on the contact right there. So Mason LeBlanc still at first base.
And this is Wyatt Stafford. Only one out here in the bottom of 6. 5-0 the score. This is a pop-up. Calling for it is the second baseman, Guidry, and Guidry makes out number 2.
I've been really impressed with Fawson Guidry in the field today. He's done a good job. He's made all the plays that he needed to play.
David Flynn now to the plate. Grounded out to second base in the first and the third, and then grounded out to the shortstop. Well, that was a fielder's choice. But they're swinging the bats, man. They are catching up to Morrison.
But we got a game that's 5-0 here, and it's still not a certainty here. And this is what we were talking about. That game that was played in March, it was a 12-0 run rule game. But a lot has changed. In a month, almost 2 months have passed, and this is a much better team that we see here in Pointe Coupee. Most of these errors are the problem here. They've been head-to-head except for those unforced errors. 0-2 is the count.
Runner going, plenty of time on the throw, and they got him. So, try to steal a base, and he is thrown out is Mason LeBlanc. So David Flynn will come back to the plate. Well, if we need him in the 7th. We head to the top of the 7th inning. It is 5-0. The Lions leading the Hornets. Back right after this on the Rev Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you simple exercises to improve shoulder strength and thoracic mobility for all athletes. Resisted external rotation will strengthen your rotator cuff. Stand tall with your arms straight out and the elbow bent at 90 degrees. Keeping your elbow in place, rotate your arm outward against the resistance. For internal rotation, set up the same 90-90 arm position, but with the resistance anchored on the same side. Rotate your arm inward, bringing your hand towards the ground while keeping your elbow fixed. This is called open books and half kneeling. The resistance band is held forward with both hands. Rotate your upper body open to the side, pulling the band across while keeping your lower body stable. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
Carter DeVilliers, followed by Andrew Savan, and then back to the top of the order. 3 outs away from advancing are the Ascension Christian Lions. In the dirt, ball 1.
So now we're in the hundreds. I never dreamed after that second inning that Burat would still be in the 7th and still pitching a shutout.
Running back, making the play as he runs to his right over his shoulder. Nice catch for Selfstead. And he's just getting smoked. I mean, he's just doing everything he needs to do out there.
Yeah, they're hitting the ball really well, but it's always to a player. Selfstead had enough room, and he's made several nice plays in the field. He's been kind of the defensive star of this ball game.
This time, a play at shortstop. They throw it in the dirt, and he's safe.
That's going to be a clean infield hit, and the runner's going to stay at first.
Savan gives him some life.
And a hit from the number 9 hitter. That's what you want to see. Now you get to the top of the lineup. So this is their best chance right here. You have the bats that you want up to the plate.
Jude Morrison at the plate. Breaking ball, strike 1. He went around.
Oh, I think he did. No, he did
not.
No,
he did not. Boy, it looked like he swatted at it, but they will call it a ball. Mm-hmm. He was able to hang down and hang loose and not go around.
That's a big call right there. A second strike would have put him in a big hole, 0-2.
Instead, it's 1-1 to Morrison, who moves from shortstop to the mound outside.
Yeah, that one was closer to the batter's box than home plate from my vantage point.
Oh, he had to duck down. He would have been clocked.
Well, I think that ball nearly broke over the plate, which he kind of bailed out a little early. But now he's ahead in the count, 3-1.
3 balls, 1 strike to Morrison. Walked him. So that's walk number 4.
And you got to be getting close to a limit if there is one for a pitcher. And I think that's
like
what's going to happen.
Yep. About to make the call.
Burat with a really courageous performance, really just flipped the switch with 2 outs in the 2nd and got all the way to the 7th, and he may have to get pulled right here. Let's see. I'm not quite sure on the situation.
It is Coach Jared Kleinpeter out on the mound.
Yeah, when you see the big guy out there, usually he's going to make a decision, and it looks like we're going to have a pitching change.
So Burat will stay in the field. He is a true utility player. This is number 8, David Flynn, who's going to come in to try to close this out.
So who's going to play shortstop? I'm not sure if Burat is a shortstop.
He's everything. I think he goes to shortstop. We'll see.
So David Flynn, number 8. Yes. Now he wasn't at shortstop. So somebody, either we have a full shuffle or Burat's going to move to shortstop. So I'm going to keep my eye on him. He's the one with the glasses on his helmet, or his cap, excuse me. And again, we want to congratulate all the Catholic High Pointe Coupee seniors as Andrew Savan, Brooks Capps, Chase Doce, Luke Vosberg, Parker Jewell, and Faustin Guidry. They're 2 outs from potentially playing their final game in high school, but they still have a chance. And Jewell is going to come up to the plate right here, so he has a chance to extend the season. And then Ascension Christian seniors we talked about before. Solstead, Stafford, LeBlanc, Buret, Keegan Bourgeois, David Flynn, Max Costello, Jacob Brignac, and Cade Dowden.
A lot of seniors on this team.
And you're right, Jimmy. It looks like the shortstop is going to be Buret.
David Flynn comes in with a 1.54 ERA. He's pitched in 22 innings in 9 games. He has a 4-2 record with 1 save. So he's given up 15 hits, 10 runs, 5 earned, and he has a 27-10 strikeout to base on ball ratio. Pretty good for him.
Yeah, now remember, he's just got to get 2 outs right here. But this is a 5-0 game, but you got 2 runners on base, and you got 2, 3, 4 coming up. So this game is not over yet. A quick out would definitely help his cause, though.
So this is Jewell, Parker Jewell. 2 runners on. This one in the dirt. It's going to advance the runners as it gets past the catcher. The wild pitch will be credited to Flynn. And now you've got runners in scoring position, and we might have a whole new complexion to this baby.
Now, I'm sure the infield will play back because allowing 1 run isn't as important as getting that second out right now.
No question.
You'd like the shutout, but you'd rather have the win.
Low and outside.
Now what you need right here is a strike.
2-0 the count to Jewell. Parker got a hit in the first inning, was stranded at third. Foul tip. And it's 2-1 the count.
That's right. First base is open, so there's a force at every base but second and first. Or there's no force, only at first, excuse me. I don't know what I was thinking right there. They would have to tag at home.
Yep. As you said, that second out is more important than the run. I think he fouled it off his foot.
Now, a strikeout would be humongous right here.
It would definitely send the momentum swinging, or at least deeply in the pocket of the Lions for sure. It's already there, but still they've kind of given up a little bit of the feeling with the runners at second and third. Off-speed pitch is called a ball, and the crowd not happy with that call.
That
we
was
have
a
got
close one.
Full count.
May broke a little too late, but so close.
It's the payoff pitch. And it goes way over the head and behind the batter, and he will walk him.
And this is why that insurance run was so important, because if they don't score that they don't score that 5th run, then the tying run is coming to the plate. Right now the tying run is on deck.
That's right.
So they can't tie the game on one swing. The point that I'm trying to make.
This is Micah Nipple. Started off at third, moved over to shortstop when Morrison moved to pitcher. He's batting in the 3 hole. He's got a base hit, a strikeout, and a fly out. So he's 1 for 3, excuse me. I think Flynn just keeps pressing a little bit. Just got to calm down and throw strikes.
Fielders have played well today, especially in the outfield.
Let Solstead just go nuts. Anywhere between Massey Sign and the woods, it's his territory. Outside.
We've seen that pitch called a strike a couple of times, but not right there. Maybe a little outside. A walk scores a run.
Fans are apoplectic with that.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, it's a slow roller. It's going to be a tough play. He throws to the plate and got him.
That was his only play, too.
Great play, and heads-up play by Flynn on the chop swing, basically a swinging bunt. Threw it home, gets the out, and there's 2 away and no run score.
And like I said, that was his only option. You could not have gotten the guy at first base. So he made the right decision, made a perfect throw, and that might have saved the season right there because an infield hit with a score 5-1 and a tying run coming to the plate, that could make things very dramatic. Now, they're not out of the woods yet, but now they only need 1 more out, and you have a force at any base. So anything hit near base, all you got to do is step on it and get the out.
So this should be number 15, Crabtree. Strike. He came in to play third on that shuffling of the infield when Vosberg was taken out of the ball game. And suddenly, Flynn feels like he's finding the zone, and he has with 2 straight strikes.
And remember, I was saying that pitch was a little high earlier that they called a ball. That looked like it was almost in the exact same spot. Got called strike 2 right there. 1 pitch away from the quarterfinals. Did not
go around.
I agree.
That was an easy call for the
and about umpire. 2/3 of the Lions were out of the dugout.
Yes, including Coach Kleinpeter.
Yeah. I think he made the right call right there.
I agree. But that'll get it, and he rings him up. The Lions are headed to the quarterfinals with a 5-0 victory over the Catholic High of Pointe Coupee Hornets. Jeffrey, what a ball game, what a season, and what a year.
Yeah, and let's give all the credit to Ascension Christian before we wrap up our season on Rev Sports. This is so important because they're going to get to the quarterfinals, but not only that, they're going to get a home game for the quarterfinals because it's 5 versus 12, so they're going to be the higher seeds. So they are 1 home win away from getting to Sulphur, and a great job by Ascension Christian this season.
Well, we've got to tell you, it has been an incredible season from football all the way to the playoffs here in baseball. So much work has gone into putting these games on. We really want to thank Andre Chapoy and, of course, our executive producer, Lyle Boudreau. He does so much back in master control, and we couldn't do it without him. Want to thank our great camera crew, Courtney Lawrence, Andre Chapoy today. Zane Chapoy's been with us all year long. Priya Singleton on the directing duties today. And Jeff Porsche, it has been a great season. I've just really enjoyed being out here with you over the last few weeks, and it's been a wonderful day.
Thank you, and I want to thank all of our color guys because I know how hard it is to do that now. So Mike Moeller in baseball always does a great job. Jolie Hartman, she does great. Jonathan Moore, our Ascension Christian expert, who couldn't be out here today, but he does a great job. And SWAC, if you're watching, stay healthy so you can do some football with us there in the fall and basketball and everything you do. So I look forward to working with all you guys, ladies and gentlemen, next season.
Absolutely. It'll be here before we know it. We want everybody to have a great summer. We've got great replays all summer long. So that is going to do it for Jeff Porsche, myself, Jimmy Frederick. The final score, 5-0. The Lions of Ascension Christian over to the Catholic High Pointe Coupee Hornets. Have a great day, everybody, and have a great summer for the Rev Game of the Week.